At first glance, a government order for new military transport planes seems, well, pretty routine, right? I mean, air forces upgrade their fleets all the time. But if you look closer at a recent multi-billion-dollar procurement battle brewing in New Delhi, investigators and analysts noticed something highly unusual. You see, this isn't just about buying airplanes anymore. It's about shifting the entire global balance of aerospace manufacturing. Welcome back to Air Flight Space, where we explore aviation stories, air safety investigations, industry developments, and the lessons shaping modern flight. Today, we're analyzing India's medium transport aircraft program, and we're going to uncover how the demand for heavy airlifters is literally forcing the world's biggest defense contractors to hand over their deepest industrial secrets.
80. That is the magic number we're looking at today. Now, on the surface, India's medium transport aircraft program looks like a standard military purchase of up to 80 transport aircraft. But that number actually represents a massive industrial shift. Procuring 80 heavy-lift aircraft is an absolute generational investment, one that has the world's top aerospace manufacturers rushing to the subcontinent. But to understand why this specific number is causing such an industry-wide scramble, we really have to look at what's currently sitting on the tarmac. Part 1. The aging fleet and the golden rule. So, the root of the problem here is that India's military logistics currently rely heavily on a decaying fleet of Soviet-origin airlifters. We're talking about more than 100 Antonov An-32 turboprops and 17 massive Ilyushin Il-76 jets that desperately need recapitalization. But fixing this decaying fleet, it's not as simple as just writing a massive check to a foreign country. And this brilliantly illustrates the modern landscape of defense procurement. Enter the 50% rule. India has a very strict defense acquisition guideline that generally requires at least 50% locally sourced content for major purchases. Here's why this localization rule matters so much, and this became a key lesson for analysts looking at this deal. To win this contract, foreign aerospace companies cannot just build planes in their home countries and ship them to New Delhi. No way. If you want India's money, you must build the planes in India. You have to create local jobs, you have to share your technology, and you've got to build a domestic supply chain. Part 2. Embraer's bold discovery. That strict rule actually set the stage for a massive shakeup by the Brazilian manufacturer Embraer, who's looking to secure this deal and effectively double their entire global C-390 backlog in just one single signature. What's truly unprecedented about this strategy is the offer itself. Marcio Montero, the chief marketing officer of Embraer Defense and Security, stated flatly, "We are willing to transfer everything as much as possible." In the highly secretive world of aerospace defense, you practically never hear a prime contractor volunteer to hand over everything. But Embraer has aggressively partnered with Indian manufacturing giant Mahindra to bypass those traditional import barriers. They aren't just selling an airplane here, they're selling the blueprints, the tooling, the whole shebang. Now keep this detail in mind, because Embraer's exact blueprint for India happens in 3 distinct steps. Step 1, structural assembly. Step 2, final aircraft assembly. And Step 3, creating a global export hub. Embraer isn't just offering to assemble parts shipped over from Brazil. They actually intend to duplicate their massive dual-hangar Gavião Peixoto assembly line right there in India. They're looking at fabricating core structural components on Indian soil. And the ultimate kicker, this Indian production line wouldn't just be for the Indian Air Force. It could support C-390 export sales to the rest of the world. India wouldn't just be a customer anymore, they'd become a global aerospace supplier. Part 3. The heavyweight competitors. Embraer's offer is incredible for sure, but they're walking into a highly contested arena against entrenched rivals who already possess a massive footprint in the Indian aerospace sector. And this really illustrates the uphill battle Embraer faces. First up, Lockheed Martin. They already have a joint venture with the Indian conglomerate Tata in Hyderabad. In fact, they've recently delivered their 260th C-130J empennage, that's the entire tail section of the aircraft, built in India for the global fleet. Second, Airbus. They also have a joint venture with Tata and Vadodara, where 40 of 56 ordered C-295 tactical transports are currently slated to be built. Both Lockheed Martin and Airbus are already manufacturing critical components and entire airframes on Indian soil right now. Those supply chains are hot. Of course, Lockheed Martin wasn't just going to sit back and let Embraer steal the spotlight. Knowing India is in what officials call hurry mode to replace those aging Soviet jets, Lockheed Vice President Rob Toth countered with a really powerful dual-track strategy. Lockheed promises to establish a brand new final assembly facility in India to satisfy the 50% rule, while simultaneously keeping their existing Marietta, Georgia plant running at full rate, delivering 20 to 24 aircraft a year. This means India gets the technology transfer they demand, but they also get the planes delivered rapidly from an established, well-oiled U.S. production line while that Indian factory is being built. Part 4. The Technical Showdown. So, with the industrial battle lines firmly drawn, the competition inevitably shifts from boardrooms to the runway, becoming a ruthless, data-driven showdown of aerospace engineering. We're looking at a classic, textbook capability clash here. On one side, you have the Embraer C-390, a modern, jet-powered transport with a larger cargo bay, higher cruising speed, and modern flexibility. On the other side, the legendary Lockheed C-130J Super Hercules, a turboprop-towered workhorse, renowned for its short runway requirements and rugged, austere field capabilities. It's a fundamental choice of physics. Do you want the speed and volume of a jet engine, or the propeller-driven short-field grit of a turboprop?
So the crucial point here really comes down to the data. Embraer heavily touts their mission capability rate. For their frontline fleet of 14 aircraft, they're boasting a massive 93% readiness rate, alongside a heavier 26-ton payload capacity. Contrast that with the Lockheed C-130J. It maxes out at a 20-ton payload, and while it is a heavily proven platform with over 800 in service worldwide, recent U.S. military reports show mission capability rates hovering between 60 and 72%. Now, to be fair, maintaining an aging global fleet of 800 aircraft is vastly different from maintaining 14 brand new jets, but on paper, Embraer is absolutely using these numbers as a major selling point.
Then, there's the outlier, the Airbus A400M. This four-engine A400M is a total beast. It offers superior brute lift, the largest payload, and the greatest range of the group. But investigators and analysts note a critical trade-off here. It comes with the highest purchase price, the lowest availability rate, and significantly higher operating costs. For an Air Force looking to replace over 100 tactical transports, the complex maintenance and high cost per flight hour of the A400M might seriously hinder its viability as a one-to-one replacement for that rugged Soviet fleet.
But right when the data seems to lean one way, we hit the true operational test. And this detail becomes a critical lesson in aerospace procurement, the high-altitude wildcard. Can a jet heavy lifter truly conquer the Himalayas? You see, India requires operations from extreme high-altitude runways, where the air is incredibly thin. This is an environment where the C-130 has an undisputed proven track record. We're talking about a legacy stretching all the way back to secret Cold War CIA missions in the Himalayas, straight through to modern NATO operations in the mountains of Afghanistan. Simply put, propellers grip thin air differently than jet turbines do.
But despite the physics of high-altitude takeoffs, and despite the C-390's heavier weight requiring longer runways, Embraer is absolutely not backing down. Take a look at this quote from Embraer CEO Francisco Gomez Neto. In terms of operations, in terms of maintenance cost, in terms of performance, we believe it is the best solution for the Indian Air Force. Embraer leadership is totally adamant that they've run the numbers with the Indian Air Force, and their jet is completely capable of hitting India's extreme high-altitude mountain requirements.
Part 5. The Future of Defense. As New Delhi's labyrinth of a bureaucracy prepares to release the official request for proposal, the entire aerospace world is watching very, very closely.
So, what can we actually learn from this story? What's the main takeaway from this intense corporate battle? Well, it's right here. The era of sovereign capability. The days of simply exporting finished military aircraft from an assembly line in Georgia or Brazil or France to a buyer across the globe, those days are over. If prime defense contractors want to win modern, multi-billion-dollar contracts, procurement is no longer just about buying aircraft. It's about building domestic aerospace ecosystems. You must transfer your deepest industrial secrets, your tooling, and your supply chain to the buyer. You aren't just selling them a plane anymore, you're teaching them how to build their own aerospace industry. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. Who will win the multi-billion-dollar battle to forge India's aerospace future? Will it be the modern jet technology of Embraer or the proven turboprop legacy of Lockheed Martin? Thanks for watching Airflight Space. If you found this explainer informative, please leave a like and subscribe for more aviation investigations and air safety documentaries. Share your thoughts below on who you think should win this contract, and I'll see you in the next explainer.